Hi there, Leanne from the Vermilion District Chamber of Commerce.
Hi.
This candidate interview will be with Amr Rezk. He is a Town of Vermilion Council candidate. And just a reminder, all of our candidates will be asked the same questions in the same order without prior knowledge. And also just a reminder for everybody to get out and vote on October 18th. So I'm just gonna throw it over to you. You can kind of tell us who you are and why you decided to run this time around.
Awesome. Thank you. And thank you for having me. I uh, I grew up in Egypt. I actually didn't grow up in Canada, and I lived there most of my adult life. I moved here at like my late 20s, and I had a kid. He's 7 years old now. Been like I first moved to Saskatchewan, and then after that, I moved to Vermilion. Been living in Vermilion like for 5 years now, and I've been working for the Vermilion Voice. Um, like I think like when I first came to town, it actually like was very peaceful, and it was like a really nice place to live in and raise my kid. And I warmed up quickly to a lot of people here. Everybody was nice, and everybody was welcoming. I rarely had any like incidents with anybody. Most of it was just basically like, people like going their own life, being nice to each other. And that actually like it excited me about the place and maybe to stay, to do something, to work here. After that, like in the last 2 years, I think things a little bit changed, especially with COVID and everything. Everybody more stressed. I think there's lots of polarization and a lot of like negativity. And I think we need more of a moderate voice. We need more of a person who is willing like to be able to listen to listen to everybody from every side. And even if they don't agree, they still can be civil about it. They still can be like, I don't agree with you, but that's fine. Like, I get like your point is noted, basically. That's why I decided I think I should run for this town. I think I would be able to do that. I think I can be able to bring voices for some of the individuals that think that they have not been unheard before, like, or their voices didn't like reach to the council or reach to others. I wish I can do that, and that's what I'm working toward. So hopefully, yeah, that's basically my introduction.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Um, so, how are you involved in the community?
Well, first through my work, like I deal with a lot of businesses around town, like working with the newspaper, it just like makes you busy all day, like, interacting, sending emails, doing work. Like I work as a graphic designer, so like I have to like, build a lot of advertising and ad materials and contact business and business owners and talk to them. Also, like, I'm always out there walking with my kid, taking my kid to school. So I'm always around school areas, talking to parents there, to other like parents. My kid also like, I tried to actually, unfortunately, like I tried to get him more into sports, but because of COVID in the last 2 years, I couldn't get him in soccer. That's what I actually like. It's a sport that I'm passionate about. And I think like, I wanted to put it in soccer, to put him in soccer so he can have a lot of more activities. That's another way. So I was like interested in going there, maybe volunteer and do my part. He goes to also like martial arts, like Councillor one with Morgan Freeman. So that's also another activity where I meet a lot of people there, talk to them. So overall, yeah, I'm out there, I'm talking to people, I'm working, I'm meeting parents, I'm taking him to school every morning, and that's how I get involved mainly.
Okay. Being that expenses and the cost of living have increased, as a future counselor, would you agree taxes are too high in Vermilion? And if so, how would you propose to lower or at the very least hold them the same over the next few years?
That's an interesting question. The thing about taxes in this town, like, you have like three, like many different taxes. You have like, the federal taxes, you have the provincial taxes, you have income taxes, and you have the property taxes. And I think the town here control more property taxes. And for that, as someone who doesn't own a property, I'm still like learning about the situation. So I'm talking about a lot with like business owner and house owners and seeing how it affects them. But one of the like when going out and talking to people, they always like, ask about like what other option people have, like for example, for living. Like somebody suggested maybe that they can do a form of like low income housing in the town that might help like, smaller families to be able to get by and have like lower cost of living, and they like especially younger families, so they can stay in the town. As for the taxes, I'm still learning about the process. I'm still like reading about it, listening from other people, since I don't basically like, I live in an apartment and I don't like an inner rent, so I don't usually interact in that. But I am willing to listen. I'm willing to get suggestions from people regarding that like topic, and I would reach like a decision or a conclusion based what people want more. So that would be my answer. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you.
Vermilion is a beautiful town and is flourishing so nicely. This writer's concern is with the trailer park area. There are many young families that live in that area, but the roads are still gravel and no sidewalks, but yet the taxes are high. Their taxes, for instance, are about $1,700 a year. During the winter months, there is no street cleaning that happens, and in the summer months, the roadways get wet and muddy from the substance the town uses and the rain. The residents know their taxes will increase if paving does happen, but it might be worth finding out if that is possible. Would you advocate for change in this area? It would be nice to see this area cleaned up a bit where families can teach their kids how to ride a bike or learn to skateboard.
Yeah, I think that would be an interesting idea in general. Like, of course, like, it would be better to always improve any place in town. And again, like I said, I'm always like trying to go out. I'm gonna actually like go do a knocking around that area next weekend. So I want to listen to people there, what they want. And since I don't live there, so, but I think overall, yeah, it is a good idea. Like, if you have like more facilities and like you said, like, pavement, so kids can like ride a bike, they can have like a better access to a lot of like better roads. That would be a good idea. But again, I'm still like, it's a learning process. I'm gonna go listen to them, see what they want and what they want to see in the council, and get their feedback and bring it back to the council if elected, for sure. Yeah.
Why are we as taxpayers paying for an economic development department that attracts competitors, such as restaurants, that could possibly put our pre-existing businesses out of business? What new businesses do you think would be a positive addition to our town?
Like, I don't think that we are really paying for competitors. I think the more businesses we have in town, the more this town can grow, the more jobs can be created, and the more people who come here for college, for example, can stay for work. As for businesses, I think we need more and more, like, like all kind of business, like restaurant, like like I don't think like we're already having McDonald's, so that's like a step in a different direction. But I would like to see other services that like, um, for example, like for me, for example, what about like another like grocery store that will be more interesting, um, give more like variety and options for other people, more clothing store, more like, I know a lot of people talk to me and tell me that they have to travel to go buy some stuff. Sometimes they find certain items for them expensive, especially for low income families. So if we can actually like more businesses that offer more option, I think there's a place for everyone. And the more option you have in a town, the more the town grows, the more people will come in, and I will stay here and will be able like to afford living. Right now, like I find it relatively fine, but for other people I talk to, they showed some concern when it comes to expenses because there's not enough variety of business in town. So again, like this is something I would like to listen more, talk with people, and that's what I've been doing like during this campaign, and bring these concerns to the council. Yeah,
Uh,
about what businesses, of course, these individuals would like to see.
okay.
Thank you.
Unless you are a World War II vet, COVID is by far the largest crisis of our lifetime. Such crises require steadfast and strong response to minimize damages. While Vermilion has been very lucky so far to have avoided a COVID catastrophe, the province as a whole has not. While other municipalities have actively responded to the COVID crisis with strong safety measures and messaging, the town of Vermilion, in contrast, has not been a strong promoter of COVID safety information or safety measures. Rather, the number of mental health posts on the town Facebook page are dozens of times more frequent than safety information for the pandemic. COVID is a crisis of community, which needs the leaders to lead the community, but that didn't happen. Would you have responded any differently to the COVID crisis had you been on town council? And specifically, what will you do differently now if elected?
No, I don't think that I would respond it a lot different. I think in general, like because it's like more of a provincial like problem. Like the town can have their own bylaws, of course, but because we have a lot of provincial roads coming from the province regarding COVID, I don't think we need to put more regulation, put more mandates on the town, on the like town residents here. Like I talked with a lot of people regarding COVID, businesses, restaurants, individual, and I think they all like agree. As much as like I understand the people who are concerned about safety and worried about their own safety and want to support more restriction in order to stay safe. I still see that like as a small town, it's really hard for other business, for people who are working to be out of job longer. Like there's a lot of people who have been like put on leave or cannot go back to work because uh, a lot of business wanted to like, downsize because of COVID, they cannot get enough business. I think that's a problem that's facing more businesses, more individual. And I don't think if like adding more regulation and more mandates and more and pushing toward like more closing will help any business here or individual in the general. That's the idea I got from most of people here, and I tend to do agree with it. So I don't think I would have done anything different, honestly.
What do you think of the current road cleaning services like snow plowing and street sweeping? What would you do to improve it?
Um, I think we had some days during the winter where the snow plowing didn't happen until like a day or two. I would like to see that improve, like where it can be actually like more responsive, like when you have a lot of pile of snow and cars can drive, like trying to get out of the house with my car, it can be a problem. So if we can have a more responsive, like especially when you have a lot of snow like piled down in one day, that will be like an improvement. Also, I think like the town had a like other than the snow plow and the cleaning service, the town I think need more of a recycling program, because it's a recycling program in the last like since I came here basically in the last 5 years, I didn't see much improvement. It went like to taking certain plastic to now it's only cardboard and paper. I think yeah, a more consistent program was what so people, because this change doesn't help people recycle. This change will make people more like, oh, I don't know, now it's cardboard, before it was plastic. Oh, where bottles, we have to take that to the bottle depot. So I think a more consistent program that is lasting and it's just accepting many different types of recycle will be also helpful in that situation.
If you received a $1 million grant, no strings attached, to use for the town any way you wanted, what would you do with it and why?
I think for me personally, I would start by building a field house for the town. I think a lot of people like who would like to see more activities during the winter and in indoor activities, that will be like a great addition and improvement. I also like heard from people many other stuff, like I mentioned before, like low income housing. Maybe we can get, if that money can help start a project like that, that can be possible. I also heard about like with McDonald's right now, there's a need for like a truck stop, like a restaurant truck stop in that area. So all of these projects are for me like a priority. But if I personally choose to do something with the town, I think one of the first thing, I think many people mentioned that we don't have a field house where people can be able to do activities for kids and for soccer, for anything, for any other indoor activities in general. So a field house will be probably the first thing I would think of.
Okay. And lastly, what is the number one thing that you wish to accomplish in your 4 years as councillor?
I really like one, if there's one thing I really want to accomplish, I think it's more of a general thing. Like I would like to see this place better and improve and a better place to raise my kid. Like more like growth in general in the amount of population and the businesses and the choices that people have in town. And I think I covered that during the other question about what other stuff I would like to see. And also like if we have other facilities like a field house, like more activities for kids. Yeah, so in general, like a better community and improvement for the lives of the citizens here through like, building new facilities, bringing more businesses in. I think that's something that if I can accomplish that, it's more a general goal, I understand. But if I can, like, if we can, after 4 years, say, oh, this town has improved a lot in the last 4 years in terms of growth, in terms of business, in terms of the standard of living, and the lowering of living costs for a lot of residents here, I would say like we did a great job
Okay,
for
perfect.
the upcoming council if elected, of course. Right?
No, that's good. So that's the end of our prepared questions. So now we'll just
Awesome.
give you a couple of minutes for your closing statements, or if there's anything else you thought was really important that you wanted to cover, now would be a good time for that.
Yeah, I think like again, it's a great place to live. When I came to this town, I really like enjoyed living here for the past 5 years, and I'm not intending on moving anytime soon. Um, I wish just like people would go, like everybody would go vote and vote for the person they want. And it's great that we have 13 candidates for the council this year, so people can finally be able to vote for somebody they like and not just against somebody they don't like. It's been like that for a long time. So I encourage everybody to go to vote for the person that they think they will represent them best. And if they have any questions and if they are interested in my campaign, they want to hear about me, they can always reach me. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I have a Discord server, they can call my phone number. All my contact information are listed there, also in the chamber, in the profile you added. So yeah, my own, like the only thing I wish people would do more is be more involved in the community and go out to vote, because that's how you change the community. There's many people who do not still vote, and I wish I can encourage them to go out and vote. So I it's like I hope this year will be different. There's a lot of choice. There's a lot of individual who would probably be voting for the first time. So we hope for the best and for change.
Okay, excellent. Well, I want to thank you so much for your time,
Thank
and
you for having me.
and good luck with the rest of your campaign.
Awesome. Thank you so much.